The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Ready for this one? Uh-oh, here it comes. You know Ted Cruz, Mr. Producer? You've heard of that name? A senator from Texas? He's an American citizen, a naturalized American citizen. He can run for president of the United States. Oh, it's true. It's true. Here's the Cato Institute of all places, libertarian think tank, Ilya Shapiro. As we head into a potential government shutdown over the funding of Obamacare, the iconoclastic junior senator from Texas continues to stride across the national stage. And with his presidential aspirations as big as everything in his home state, writes this writer, by now many know what has never been a secret. Ted Cruz was born in Canada. Oh, my God! But does that mean that Cruz's presidential ambitions are gummed up with marble syrup or stuck in snowdrifts altogether different from those plaguing the Iowa caucuses? Are the birthers now hoist on their own petards, having been unable to find any proof that Obama was born outside the United... by forcing their comrade in boots to disqualify himself by releasing his Alberta birth certificate? No, actually, it's not even that complicated. You just have to look up the right law. It boils down to whether Cruz is a natural-born citizen, quote-unquote, of the United States, the only class of people constitutionally eligible for the presidency. You see, the Founding Fathers didn't want their newly independent nation to be taken over by foreigners on the sly. So what's a natural-born citizen? Well, may I add this? It's not in the column. It seems like every jerk with access to Google has decided what a natural-born citizen is. And they insist that everybody agree with them. But the Constitution doesn't say. But the framers' understanding, combined with statutes enacted by the first Congress, indicate that the phrase means both birth abroad to American parents in a matter regulated by federal law and birth within the nation's territory regardless of parental citizenship. The Supreme Court has confirmed that definition on multiple occasions in various contexts. Oh, my God! It's true. Wait a minute. We have a meeting scheduled in my mother's basement to go over this. We're gonna post a lot of comments on the Mark Levin social sites. Let me continue. There's no ideological debate here. Harvard law professor Lawrence Tribe and former Solicitor General Ted Olson, who were on opposite sides in Bush v. Gore, among other cases, co-authored a memorandum in March 2008 detailing the above legal explanation in the context of John McCain's eligibility. Recall that McCain, lately one of Cruz's chief antagonists, was born to U.S. citizen parents serving on a military base in the Panama Canal Zone. In other words, anyone who is a citizen at birth, as opposed to someone who becomes a citizen later, that is, naturalizes, or who isn't a citizen at all, is what we're talking about. So the one remaining question is whether Ted Cruz was a citizen at birth. And that's an easy one. The Nationality Act of 1940 outlines which children became nationals and citizens in the United States at birth. In addition to those who were born in the United States or born outside the country to parents who were both citizens, or interestingly, found in the United States without parents and no proof of birth elsewhere. That would be people from Mars, I think. Citizenship goes to babies born to one American parent who has spent a certain number of years here. That single-parent requirement has been amended several times, but under the law in effect between 1952 and 1986, Cruz was born in 1970, someone must have a citizen parent who resided in the United States for at least 10 years, including 5 after the age of 14, in order to be considered a natural-born citizen. Cruz's mother, Eleanor Dara, was born in Delaware. Is Delaware part of America? I think so. Lived most of her life in the United States and gave birth to little Raphael Edward Cruz in her 30s. So why all the brouhaha about where Obama was born, given that there's no dispute that his mother, Ann Dunham, was a citizen? Oh, Lord, I go down this road, all the kooks will be shooting at me. And he says it may be politically advantageous for Ted Cruz to renounce his Canadian citizenship before making a run for the White House, but his eligibility for that office shouldn't be in doubt. Remember George Romney? Born in Mexico. Remember Barry Goldwater? Born in the Arizona Territory. Cruz is certainly not the hypothetical foreigner who John Jay and George Washington were concerned might usurp the role of commander-in-chief. Here's the practical problem, in addition to all this. Do you think any court in the land, any court, because you have to adjudicate this, right? Do you think any court in the land is going to say, you know what, you were born of an American citizen mother in Canada, therefore you're disqualified? There's really no historical basis for this. And actually, I could have added to this piece. You look at the 1790 Naturalization Act, which had some very terrible things in it, by the way. Cruz would qualify under the 1790 Naturalization Act. And there were a lot of founding fathers involved in that act. The act of the first Congress. So can we cut it out? No. People do not want to cut it out. They're going to keep it up. They're going to show up here and there, waving some crap in front of my face or somebody else's. Don't you read the Constitution? Yes. It says natural-born citizen. Yes. Well, look at that. I did read it. It says natural-born citizen. He's born of an American mother. Yeah, well, it doesn't mean that. Well, what does it mean? Hey, look, haven't you read the book by Cuckoo Clock over here? And, please, save it for somebody else. As a matter of fact, bother Hannity. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. No, Mr. Call Screener, no calls on this either. I'm just not interested. This bores me, the whole topic. I'm just raising it to address it, knock it down, done with it, hopefully never to be spoken again on the Mark Levin Show.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.